Hey there, Omaha. Welcome into another episode of Restaurant Hoppen. I'm your host, Dan Hoppen, and we have two awesome gentlemen in the house today. I have to start this podcast off with a big thanks to my main man, Tim Mades. He is a well-known chef in Omaha. This dude knows food, and he has been in my ear for months, if not over a year, about this food truck called Zaytuna. And it's commonly parked downtown, usually nights and weekends, so that's been kind of tough for my schedule. It's been tough for me to get down there, but I've known, like, I need to try this food. And then it recently moved and, well, I guess it still operates as a food truck, but also now operates in a stall in the Inner Food Hall. And I went like 3 times in the first 2 weeks that you guys are open because everything I tried was just like, I need more of this. This is so good. Tim was absolutely accurate in what he described. And now I hope that I can be the Tim to lots of listeners and viewers today and tell them about this awesome place. That is Zaytuna. And these are the brothers behind the place, Ahmad and Mahmod Al-Ramadan. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so for listeners who are listening to this, just to differentiate the voices, can you each just introduce yourself real quick?
Hello, my name is Mahmoud. I am the younger brother behind Zaytuna, and
hello, my name is Ahmad. I'm the older brother at Zaytuna.
There you go. Okay, Zaytuna. For someone who hasn't visited yet, how would you describe either the food truck or the Inner Food Stall Hall to them if they're visiting for the first time?
good Mediterranean, Atlantic food. Yeah. There's nothing much to say about, like, wait, I don't know what to say.
Well, like, what kind of food are we talking here? I know we're talking like gyros, chicken shawarma. Well, like, what are you guys bringing to the table?
So we're most famous for the chicken shawarma, and that's what, like, we put most of our effort. And when we first opened the food truck, is like we really paid a lot of attention to the chicken shawarma because when we came here, we noticed that there is no chicken shawarma. Like, there's no good chicken shawarma in Omaha. Like, there is some, but there's not like good 100% authentic chicken shawarma. And that's like what we like most focus about, to have a good chicken shawarma in Omaha.
Okay, so you said there wasn't like that upper echelon chicken shawarma. No. Well, what makes upper echelon chicken shawarma? What sets yours apart, do you feel like?
Seasoning. The way you season your chicken, the way you marinate your chicken, like, overnight, and all that process of, like, toasting the bread and, like, all that pickles and yeah, it's a very famous dish back in the Middle East, and that's what we, like, kind of ate every day. Yeah, it's like in every street there is, like, at least one chicken shawarma restaurant that always specializes in chicken shawarma.
So is it just bizarre when you guys move here and you're so used to eating this dish every day, and it's like just, you know, it's such an important part of your culture, your daily life, and you come here and there's just like, there are a few versions of it, but none that I've found that are like yours. I mean, that had to just be a bizarre, like, almost fish out of water experience for you.
It was very hard to live without a chicken shawarma. But yeah.
Not anymore, though.
Yeah, now you're making it.
Now we're making it, yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys moved here from Syria in 2016, correct?
From Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah, we're originally from Syria, and because of the war that happened in the civil war that happened in Syria 2011, we had to be immigrated to Jordan, to be exact. September 9, 2011. That's when we moved to Jordan, and then we decided to come here. We ended up being here June 7, 2016. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
We're glad to have you. How do you describe Mediterranean cuisine to people? Like, I know that it's obviously a very unique blend of spices and cooking techniques. What do you think are like the flavors or the techniques that kind of set it apart from other cuisines?
He can describe that for you.
Go for it, Ahmad.
I haven't said anything.
He gave me the hard thing to describe.
You're going to do great.
I'm trying to. So, I mean, like, I have tried so many, like, American food, so many different food. It's all make simple, and to me it's simple and easy, and there is no too much spices to it. And Middle Eastern food, we put like so many spices, and we marinate it for like long time, so the spices go through the meat. If we are making like the chicken shawarma, so it goes through the meat, and we cook it. When we cook it, the spices is still inside, and it give it really good taste. I mean, what else should I say?
No, that was brilliantly said,
Yeah.
and I think it explains why your food has such a depth of flavor. And I mean, you know,
And
somebody,
it's very healthy too.
it's very healthy. Tell me about that.
I mean, Mediterranean cuisine known as a really healthy diet to be on, just because like of the way we don't really have much frying and like deep frying and then all that greasy stuff. Where like chicken shawarma is made out of chicken breast, so most of the chicken shawarma is like you're eating pretty much protein, you know. Also, like all the sauces and everything, we don't really use that greasy stuff in them, so it's pretty healthy.
Well, both of your answers, I think, are things that I wanted to bring up. And one is, yeah, it just like after I eat you guys' food, I feel clean. You know, it's not like I just eaten a big like greasy burger or, you know, fried chicken or something, or even like other gyros that I've had can be just really like heavy. You guys, I feel like I eat a good meal and I'm full. Don't get me wrong, but I get up, I'm like, okay, let's like go be productive. This is still going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And to what you were saying, Ahmad, like every bite of your food has like a little bit different something to it. Like it's not you're not just eating the same bite over and over again, but you're finding different levels of that flavor. I feel like because you talk about you've got those spices infused into the meat. So you guys just did a great job kind of outlining what makes your food different.
Thank you.
Now, I think if you ask most Omahans like what Mediterranean cuisine is, I think they'd be able to probably identify two things kind of off the bat.
Gyros.
Gyro
Gyros
and hummus.
And hummus.
Hummus,
Yep,
yeah.
you nailed it. But you guys are bringing more to the table. We already talked a little bit about the shawarma, but you've also got kofta. You've got, some people might have heard of falafel or had falafel, but your falafel's very good. Baba ganoush is something that's still foreign to a lot of Omahans. These are foods that you guys grew up eating and were a staple part of your diet. Like, how meaningful is it to you that there are people in Omaha who are now having baba ganoush and kofta who might have never had it otherwise? Like, you're their introduction to it.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to bring something to Omaha that has been done yet, or has been done yet, but not been like, you know, like did a good job on it. And like we enjoy when people like eat and smile more than like we enjoy like, you know, making the food, you know. So yeah,
That's our goal at Zaytuna. When people come to Zaytuna, if they're having a bad day, I want it to be the best day for them after having our food. So that's why we really focus on making the food and making sure people will love it and change their day.
that's why we have good food, good mood back here.
I mean, that's a good slogan right there.
Yeah.
That's what you want to
He
have.
chose it actually.
I like it.
Yeah,
How old are you guys?
that's a very good question.
Mentally or physically?
Both.
uh,
Mentally, I think you're older than I am, but physically, you guys look so young. And I want to say you just graduated from Central a couple of years ago.
I graduate 2020, so I'm
I graduate
22
last
right
year.
now.
That's
I'm
insane.
22.
You're
I'm 19.
He's 19.
22 and 19.
Yeah.
I'm 32, and I'm like, I like.
You don't look like 32.
I know I have a huge baby face, but
Yeah, you do.
You look
But-
younger than us.
but I'm old. I'm actually 33, and I think, but I don't even know how old I am. That shows when you're getting old,
After
your
30,
brains.
you're on count.
I
Yes,
suppose so.
Afghan.
I'm basically 1 foot in the grave. But I think that's so impressive. I mean, you guys are so young, and you own a successful business that now has 2 locations. And we'll get more into your background. I had to know because you guys, I mean, you are experienced beyond your age for sure.
I've heard that we're the youngest business owners in Nebraska. Restaurant owners. Let's put it
That
way.
would not surprise me.
Because when we first started, I was 17, he was 19. When we first started the business.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, put a pin in that. We're gonna get
right.
into the background, but we got to talk about a little bit more food first. We got to tease some taste buds.
Of course.
What is something about Mediterranean food that you think Omahans don't understand or maybe just don't know yet that you're like, hey, our food, you should know this about it?
Always made fresh. I don't think you could get it anywhere else. The taste, the way it cooked, the way it marinated, and I mean everything. I don't think you will be able to get it anywhere else. Everybody's serving like gyro and chicken shawarma, but they want to make it their own style and the easy style. We choose to make it the hard way and the good way. We just don't want to serve people food. We want to serve them food and we get back. We're gonna serve them food and happiness. So we take us time to marinate the chicken, cut it the right way, putting the right seasoning, and not being cheap in all of these stuff. We always get the stuff like in a high quality. We never being cheap on getting like low quality. We always get the high quality to serve people good food. And then because I mean we really care about people. We really care about people getting the right food and the good food.
I love that. And I love when you described the hard way. I wanted to ask you what does it mean to serve good food the hard way? But you just went into it. It's finding the high quality ingredients. It's putting the time in. It's not taking any shortcuts. And I think that comes through in the flavor of your food.
Yeah.
Anything, Mahmoud, that you'd like to?
Not really. He said a lot of.
He got it already.
Yeah, he got it all. Just like we try to not get like shortcuts and then go through something. You know, like we try to always have like good food.
Okay, so
like good quality.
Right. So I need to ask about you guys' gyro, because I'm a huge gyro fan, and I've got some good spots around Omaha, but like once I bit into yours, I was just like, shoot, if this isn't the best, like it's right up there. How do you make a gyro, like you said, the hard, good way? Like what sets your gyro apart?
You have to describe.
I mean, it all goes about the sauce. The sauce add a huge taste to our gyros. So I mean, to be able to make the good gyros, also you have to make the sauce good, and we really care about making the tzatziki the good way that's fit with the meat and the bread too.
I mean, yeah. Besides that, like there's a lot of reason. Like there's a lot of good ways to make a gyro, really good gyro. For example, like the way you toast your bread. Like when you toast the bread with the fat, like gyro fat, that really adds a lot of texture and taste to it too. You know, so everything like really adds up to build a gyro.
Also, I've just from a personal note, you guys' meat is like the crispiest. Like I don't know if it's the way that you're slicing it off or if you're like putting it back on the flat top or something, but that meat gets so crispy. It is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we actually do. After we shave it off from that cone, we put it back on the grill. We let it
There you
cook a little
go.
more, yeah.
That's how you do it. Well, it's brilliant. Okay, falafel. So many, I know a lot of people that do not like falafel, and I don't blame them because so many versions of it are dry and bland and just kind of whatever. You guys is very much not. Kind of take me, I mean, don't give me like the trade secrets or anything, but take me take me a little bit inside the falafel making process and tell me how yours is so flavorful.
I just feel that there's a lot of people who don't like falafel because they don't know how to eat the falafel. Falafel in the Middle East, they don't just eat it like that. They usually dip it with hummus or usually make it in a sandwich or like dip it with tahini sauce at least, you know, because falafel can get dry. But there is some ways that you can cook it that it won't be as dry.
Okay, but part of the key is not just eating it by itself. Dip it in some hummus.
Dip in some hummus,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. How close is the food that you guys make now compared to what you're used to eating back home? Like, did you have to adjust it at all to the American or even the Midwest palate, or are you just making it as close to what you remember as you can?
We try to make it as close to what fits in here. We cannot really make food what we make back home and sell over here. we have to Americanize it a little bit. Yeah, there is some addition that we had to add in order to make it like that, and that can fit in this in the Midwest.
Do you mind telling me like just one or two? I'm just curious because like I'm someone who's not been to the Middle East, so I would love to know like what the food is more like over there versus here.
Yeah, I mean, if you go like you go like to a block in the Middle East that has a bunch of restaurants, and you see like one restaurant just specialize in like falafel and hummus, and the other restaurant specialize in chicken shawarma, and the other restaurant specialize like in roasted chicken, you know. So, and over here, like we just had them all in one place.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of bringing a bunch of concepts
Yeah.
into one. Love it. Has food always been a big part of you guys' lives?
Kind of. When I came to America about 6-7 years ago, I started working in a restaurant, and I never worked in a food before. I never cooked food before I came to America. But when I came to America, I started working in a restaurant, and then I'm like, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy making food. And then when I graduated from Central, when I graduated from school, and decided to open Zaytuna, and when I did that, I'm like, this is the thing I wanted to do. This is the thing I really, really enjoy doing, and here we are.
When did you know? I mean, you said you started working in restaurants and you were like, hey, I kind of like this. When did it start to become something in your mind like, hey, maybe this is more than just,
Working.
a side job, but this is something that I potentially want to like make into my life or make my career out of?
I mean, it really all started with my mom when she started doing caterings. My mom, she's a really good cook, and she's known in our community that she's a good cook, and they always like order from her. That's way before we opened the food truck when we first came to America. She did that to support the family, so that's when the love of food came, and it's like the love of selling and making food came. Yeah, and she supported us a lot during that process too.
Why did your family come to America?
We wanted better opportunities. Unfortunately, there was not a lot of opportunities where we used to be at. And, of course, we immigrated from Syria because of the war. And then in Jordan, there wasn't as much opportunities in there. And then there was that organization that bring people to the United States and in all of like Europe and South America. So we just came with that group, and then... Yeah.
And like, how did it influence you guys' love of food to have a mom who was cooking all this stuff at home and then starting to distribute it and starting to sell it?
So say that one more time.
How did that affect your love of food, just having that background with your family kind of involved in it already?
Just like how people like was really happy with my mom's food, just like affected us a little bit, you know, like we like this, like she's doing this, she's getting really good results from people. That makes her smile, and then that's sort of like, oh, we want to do this too.
Did she teach you her recipes?
Some of them is my mom's recipes, yes.
Okay.
A lot of it is my mom's recipes. Shout out to my mom.
Do you feel like, I can only imagine it would be so just difficult to move to an entirely new country and have to assimilate to a new culture. I'm not sure if you guys had to learn new language, but I mean, you're nodding yes. I mean, new school, new restaurant, new everything basically. Was it like, is food one of those grounding things where it's like you go through a whole day and it's just like everything is new. Your head is just swimming, and then you come home and then it's just like a home cooked meal, and it's just something that you're familiar with, and it like can that almost like transport you back and like be kind of like a, almost a home away from home?
Of course, coming to America 7 years ago and had to learn, didn't know any any English at all. We learned the alphabet in here. We didn't know the culture. We didn't have no friends, no family in here. So we had to go through a lot by not knowing anybody, like not even the language. I go to school. I was in 7th grade. I go to school. I don't know like nobody. I can't even talk with them. And there was like no Arabic speaking friends in that school at Lewis and Clark, and Yeah, just and then when we go home, just that's where we like find the peace. Yeah, that's where like we felt really comfortable at, and of course food.
The first week I went to school, I didn't talk at all. Yeah, it was really really hard because I mean I don't understand what they're talking about. I don't. I wanted to talk to them, but they're not gonna understand me. I don't understand them, and then the only thing I used to say no English. That's it. And then I mean, it was really really hard at first.
Okay, so tell me more about how this love of food developed. I mean, obviously your mom's kind of got her thing going, but Ahmad, you start working in the food industry and you find a liking for it. What do you think was it about food and creating food that kind of sparked that desire in you?
Food, I feel food is there is always a new thing you could create, and I like to create new things so I don't get bored. So I found out food is the way I could.
To the heart.
Huh?
It's the way to the heart.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I really, really enjoy doing it because I always could create a new thing. I could always do same thing with a different thing. Like,
Yeah.
let's say with the chicken shawarma, I could make it in so many different ways. So that's make me think. And
With food, there's just endless possibilities.
Yes.
There's no
Yeah.
finish line.
there is no finish line.
Like, even as great as you guys' chicken shawarma is, you can constantly toy around with that recipe and make little tweaks with the spices, make little tweaks with the marinade, how long it marinates, how long we're going to put it on the grill. Should we try a different tortilla or a piece of bread? Like, there's no end point with food because you can constantly be experimenting. Now, your experiment might not be as great as your last thing, but you still learn something you learn something every time you cook. There's no doubt about that.
100%.
True.
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of mentioned this earlier, but at what point does the idea for a food truck enter your mind?
So I graduated from Central, and I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what to do. And I'm not that person who like to go to school and then listen. So and my dad was my mom and my dad were telling me, hey, let's open a food truck. I wanted to at that time, but I was scared that I'm new to the country. We don't know the law. We don't know nothing. So I was scared, but my parents were pushing me, let's do it. And then I did it. I opened and I was like, I could do it. I was like, I could. It's not as hard as I thought it will be.
Really?
Yes.
It's not as hard.
No, it was not that hard.
That's the opposite of what I feel like I hear from most food truck owners. Most food truck owners come in and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to work on a food truck. It's going to be easy. And then they realize how difficult it is.
Well, it is a lot. It's a lot of work for sure, but it's like when you put like 100% of your time in that piece that you will get it done,
Yeah.
And I noticed that, like, since I'm doing something I really, really enjoy doing, it doesn't make it hard.
Doesn't feel like work.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the most beautiful thing
Yeah.
in the world.
especially when two brothers working together, getting that thing done, and
yeah,
it'll get done.
So, I mean, you guys clearly very close working in the business together. Have you always been close?
We've
Yes.
always been close, yeah.
Since, yeah.
Like little babies, we used to go play soccer together, go hang out together, get in trouble together, get in.
How essential has that relationship been to the business? Like, do you think if you guys weren't inseparable like that, do you think that this business could work?
No. 100% not.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt. It's there's a lot of things that he sees that I can't see in that business, and there's a lot of things that I see that he couldn't see in the business. So we just support each other, and
We're 2 in 1.
yeah.
Okay. Well, what are some of one of your strengths that like maybe the other doesn't have? Like, how do you guys play off each other, I guess is what I'm looking for. Like when you say there are some things I see that my brother doesn't see, like how do you guys play off each other? What are your strengths that you lean on each other for?
Well, just pretty much the ideas and just pretty much the ideas and what we want to come. when we want to come up with a new thing, that's when we like sit down and discuss like what we want to do, and then he comes up with an idea, I go up with an idea, and then we kind of meet up in the middle, discuss like what's the better, you know?
I like it.
Yeah.
So when you decide, okay, we're gonna open a food truck. I know it was a little scary at first. Like, where does one even start? Do you buy the truck first? Like, I wouldn't even know what to do if I decided it's food truck time and I need to start a business.
So, I mean, everybody could start at a different point. But to me, buying the food truck is the first thing because it's the hardest thing to get. You could open the company easy. You could do the health department, it's easy. But buying the food truck is the hardest way. So, to me, I will buy the food truck first and make sure I have the food truck. Everything is running and good inside the food truck, and then I'll open the company, and then I will get the health department, and there is one more permit food truck vendors need, which is the parking. This is the only fourth thing you need,
That's the only 4 things you need.
and the
There
fifth
you
one
go.
is your talent in food.
I was gonna say you need good food.
Yeah, you
too,
need
or
good
nobody's
food. I
gonna
mean,
get your job.
obviously.
All right, so tell me about your first night of service. When was it? Where was it? How did it go?
First night was on 61st and Military.
Okay.
It was
Benson
in
area.
Benson area.
Oh, nice. It's kind of
Yeah.
my neck of the woods now. What made you choose that location?
There is my dad friend gas station, and then he said, "Oh, you guys could come and park there," and then we went parked. It was good at first, you know. It was a lot of stress, and I have never done this before, and also I was still working in a second business, so we have to switch between me and my old brother. So I opened it until like 4 or 5. I left to my second job, and then my brother came and covered me. It was really hard.
What do you remember most about that service? Like, was it just crazy? Did it flow better than you expected? What do you remember?
I'm thinking. I forgot.
You're good. You're good.
I don't think it was that busy, but I know we had orders, but I don't know. I forgot how much.
Okay.
Yeah, we had few orders. I remember that day. It's just because most of it was just like friends and family, and first 2 days was like really good, and then it just like boomed down. When we like tried to survive like one day is like we were make $1 all day, so we had to fight through that. Yeah.
How do you fight through that mentally? Because I'm sure there's a part of you that is just like, man, are we even doing the right thing here? You know, clearly you guys persevered through and made it to the other side, and people figured out what Zaytuna was. But on those dark days where you're only making a couple bucks or whatever, how do you get through that mentally?
You have to find out what's your mistakes. You have to find out. So, I mean, we found out as the location was not the right location. So first we had to choose a different location. And then when we found a different location, it was good. People start coming. And then we start seeing our mistake in the food. You know, small mistake is not like very huge mistake, but these small mistake could change a lot. So I mean, we found we still till now we find the mistakes, different mistakes. So we fixed that, and then since then we start doing way better than the day we started.
Mm-hmm. Now, you guys, I believe, commonly park the truck now around like 13th and Howard, kind of that area downtown. You mentioned that location was just a huge part, and that brought a lot of business. How did you figure out like that was the right location for you?
My dad was driving around the city and then trying to look for something new, and then he just drove by 13th and Howard, and he liked it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your dad's got a good eye for this. Then, because he found that
does,
corner,
yeah.
and it's been working out for you guys. When you're a new food truck that doesn't have name recognition yet. You're brand new in this thing. How do you get the word out about your business? I mean, is it all about just finding the right place to park and then hoping that people come, or is it social
That's
media?
not
Like,
all of it,
what'd you guys do to get the word out?
So most of it was like mouth by mouth, like words, and what we really was focusing on is like it was only me and my brother was working in the business. That's when I joined my brother. Like a couple months later, it was like just him, me and him in the business, and was just trying like one of us focus on really making a lot of friends in the food truck, making a lot of customers, and then one of us was just like focusing on the food and making really good food, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now I know that sometimes early on, and maybe even still now, you guys' work weeks are crazy. Like we're talking 80 plus hours. Can you pull back the curtain a little bit on food truck life? Because I think a lot of people they think of like the really fun aspects of working on a food truck, and they see a movie like Chef or something like that, and there are certainly there are obviously positive aspects to it, but I would love you guys to just kind of give some realities of how difficult in the long hours of working on a food truck and just what life is really like.
We have done 36 hours straight, no sleep.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Starting Friday at 2 p.m., finishing at Sunday 4 a.m.
Oh my gosh. I'm hoping that's the longest you guys have ever gone.
Yes.
Okay.
That's pretty long.
Yes, it'd be pretty tough to beat that.
Yeah, and the reason why we had to go through that, because like I mentioned, it was only me and my brother in the business, and my parents were helping us, but like not physically working in the food truck, so we had to prepare, wash dishes, like we were doing all behind the scenes, and we had to do like all the shift, like open in a food truck that 10 hours a day, and then we also had to go clean after that and prep for the next day, and
we had a catering in the morning.
Yeah.
And we had a catering, and then we had an event on that day, and there was like only like 2 hours or hour and a half in between, so we had to get the catering done, and then we had to go to the event, and then we had to come back again, go to our location.
Yeah.
How long did you guys sleep after that?
2 hours.
Like 2 hours?
No, after like on Sunday.
after it's all over.
Oh, all over?
Yeah. Like
I don't
2
remember.
days.
No.
I don't think I wouldn't be up
No,
for quite a
barely
while.
slept like 8 hours, maybe 7, 8 afterwards.
Man, you guys are a different breed. That's amazing.
Yeah, 24-hour shifts. We have done it so much that we're used to it now. Like starting like at 1 and then finishing the next day at 1. Like 24 hours, we have done it a lot last year.
24-hour shifts. Like
24-hour shifts.
Walk me through that. How does one have a 24-hour shift?
Sorry, guys.
So when we work 24 hours, that means we have a catering in the morning. So we will start, let's say, on Saturday at 1 to prepare for the...
And this is 1 in the morning.
No,
Or 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 p.m. So we will start preparing for the food truck, because we, like I said, we always make things fresh, and then we will go to downtown. We finish at 3:30 by the time we clean at the food truck, and then when we come back home, we have a catering in the morning, and we can't go to sleep because we have to make to prepare for the catering. So we stay up until we finish the catering, and usually that takes us about like 3-4 hours. So by the time we finish, it's like 12-1. So that's making about 24 hours.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I was impressed with you guys before. This is a different level of work ethic right here. Very, very impressive, guys.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, you love doing
I
it.
love doing it.
That makes it
I
easier.
love doing it.
How did the opportunity to move into the inner rail arise?
He came up with it. He decided to move to NRL.
I mean, I thought it would be a good opportunity and good to put Zaytuna in a different location, and then I thought Innerrail will be a great location for me to put my name at and experience more than a food truck experience and learn more. Like with the food truck, we don't have a lot of employees, and so I thought Inner Rail will be a great for me to put my name for great for me to practice to be a more boss, you know. And I
for
wasn't
sure.
his boss, so now I have to be a boss of 6-7 employees, you know, more stuff to do. So I was like, it's way better for me than opening a big restaurant and then move from a food truck to a big restaurant. And I don't have much talent to run a restaurant at first. So, I mean, in a way, I thought it will be the greatest for me to put my
out
name.
there, yeah.
Huh?
To put our name out there.
To put our name out and practice.
And in a different part of Omaha as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Exarban area versus downtown, two very different
I was gonna
parts of the city.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Different.
mention that there is a lot of people, a lot of customers that come all the way from the west to the Omaha, like to the downtown, just to get our food, and then they always like say like, "Hey, bring somewhere to the west Omaha." We want, like this is too far for us. Like I have a regular customer that comes from all the way 190th and Dodge, all the way to the old market just to get some food and go back.
That's a dedicated customer right there.
Yeah, and he comes at least once or twice a week.
That's awesome.
And we have people comes every Saturday from Lincoln.
From Lincoln.
From Lincoln, just to
Shoot.
get the food, eat, and go back.
I love that. Those are my kind of people right there.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that one of the more difficult things and something you want to challenge yourself with was learning to be a leader and training employees. And that, I mean, that is a very different skill set than cooking great food. You can be the greatest cook in the world, but if you can't teach other people to replicate your recipes or to work hard or, you know, to do the tasks that you assign them, you're going to fail as a restaurateur. So how did you kind of level up your leadership game and figure out, you know, this is my style of leadership in the kitchen?
Of course, we had to put a system before we did all of that. Like we have to know what our recipes are and what everything, how everything runs with us, and that's how we taught it to people. Yeah, it's all about the system to run in the employees. Yeah, or the team.
And you just teach it to them, and they take to it.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. What has it been like to serve food from like an actual kitchen as opposed to on a food truck? Because those are two very different, not only food preparation but food service styles.
It's completely different. You could do more. I feel in because you have a bigger place, so you could bring more stuff to put the food at, the way you decoration and serve it. So with the food truck, it's hard because you have a limited stuff. You can't bring a lot of stuff to the truck. So with Inner Rail, so it gives me a lot of space to show my more talent.
Well, and I've noticed that on the menu, going back and looking at some of the old food truck menus, there are several things available at the Inner Rail now that are not on the truck, and there are just logistical reasons why. But like, just a couple examples, at the Inner Rail, you can get the vegetarian platter now. You can get
Baba ganoush,
baba ganoush. You can get
lentil soup,
Salads.
You stole the words right out of my mind. Lentil soup, salads, the Turkish tea, the Turkish coffee. These are new dishes. Like, how exciting was that for you to not only have, you know, this brand new stall to serve out, but all of a sudden it's like, hey, there is some dishes that I've really been wanting to make, but they just don't make sense on a food truck.
Yeah.
In a restaurant where people can sit down and enjoy it right there, they do make sense.
Besides that, they appreciate the food. Not like sober people would appreciate the food rather than being like late at night.
Right,
Very
right, yes. A
Yeah.
little inebriated.
yes.
But like, how fun was that to get to create new dishes all over again?
love it. Like I said, there is no doubt at the end of the at the end of the work, there is always new thing to do. So make me more keep thinking about what I need to do and what I need to, I need to make them, how do I need to serve them. So I'm always thinking, so which is make me feel better and loving it more.
Okay, so your first day at the Inner Rail was June 22nd.
June 22nd.
Were you guys nervous going into that day, or because you had experience on the food truck, you're just kind of like, no, we got this? What were your emotions like?
Pretty frustrating week, actually.
Tell me why.
Well, our first day we opened, it was only me, my brother, and one more guy. It was his first day. He doesn't really speak English, so me and my brother had to take care of the whole show, and we knew that was gonna happen. So we didn't really do a lot of advertising. We only did like one post, like 15 minutes before the grand opening, and then a lot of people showed up. Like a lot of people showed up, and it was only like me, my brother, and that guy, and just like trying to make it work. It was like in the same time we're just trying to like get used to the stuff, like all the equipment's in there, and like just it was like a big difference from working in the food truck than in working at an actual restaurant.
We didn't practice how to serve the food before. Like we made the menu, we made the food, but we never like put them on the plate and practice how to do them. He started taking orders, and I'm like, how am I gonna do it? And I did it like this way, and it's been since we started the same way I started.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Yeah.
we never practiced. We just turned the grill on, turned the fryer on, and then restock the stuff, and that's it. And we start serving.
Wow. You must have come up with a pretty good service style on the
Yeah.
fly then,
He
because
said, "You run that, I run the register."
it's working for you.
Yeah.
So now the truck is still out and about.
Oh yeah.
You guys have the in-rail. You still got the food truck out. How do you handle that? Because there are two of you, so you can be in two locations at once, but you guys are also a team who are very used to working together. So how do you keep both of those operations going at the same time?
He runs the food truck. I run a rail. I prepare the food for him, so he goes only like serve it.
Is the ultimate goal to open like a full-blown restaurant someday?
Yes,
Yeah.
one day. Stay tuned.
Okay, stay tuned. That's exciting.
We want to work on something like that soon.
Well, maybe by the time you get to age 25 or something,
No.
you can
No,
accomplish
no,
something
no.
impressive.
Max next year.
Oh my gosh, you guys already have it in the works?
Yeah.
Oh man, I won't put your feet to the fire because I know like figuring out locations and everything can be a bit of a juggle, but I want to hear about this as soon as I can because
We'll bring something really nice to the Omaha restaurant community.
oh man, like you guys' growth is just unbelievable. I mean, we're talking about 3 years ago you opened a food truck in the middle of a pandemic, and now we're talking you not only have a successful food truck, you've got a second location. You're talking about opening a full-blown restaurant. Like when you sit back and think about how far you've come in such a short amount of time, does it blow your mind a little bit? Does that even seem possible?
With the hours that we work, yes, it is possible.
Okay, yes.
We have worked for the last 3 years a minimum of 60 to 70 hours into the high of 110 hours a week.
Right.
So we put a lot of work into that. We have learned so much. There's still a lot of things to learn and to practice, but we have we took it too far. We're taking it too far. Yeah, we're not stopping here.
Oh, I love to hear that because you can definitely taste the effort and the sweat equity that you guys have put in your food. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
And I just can't wait to see what you guys would do with like a full service place, where you would get to design it yourselves and make it your own. Just the idea of that is really, really exciting.
Pretty excited for that too.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
All right. I got 2 more questions for you guys that I like to ask just about every guest I have on the show. The first one is, what is one thing that you wish diners understood about the food or the restaurant industry that they don't understand?
Food is really fun. It's fun. It's so enjoyable to eat food. It is the only place where I personally sit and eat food and not thinking about anything else.
You just black out everything
Yeah, just
else?
like all I'm thinking, like when I have a plate in front of me, all I'm thinking is about that square or circle
How
plate.
to destroy it.
Yeah.
Man, I love you guys. You are my type of people right here. Ahmad, what's one thing that you feel like most diners don't understand about the restaurant industry that you wish they did understand?
I have multiple things.
Okay, go.
The food is not that easy the way they think it's easy. You know, there is more to do with the food. And the second thing I want them to know is food is not just food. It's more to it. It's like you gotta enjoy every bite. You gotta know what you're having. You could have peaceful by just eating the food. Don't like just eat it. Oh, I'm filling my stomach. You gotta enjoy the pie, every bite of it.
Oh, I love that. Just go, like your brother said, just go into a space and just zone out with that food. Enjoy everything about it. Like, try and taste all those different spices. Taste the marinade. Like, there's a reason that every bite of food tastes like it does. And trying to mentally figure that out and like unlock that mystery is such a fun thing to do.
Just enjoy it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And then to get you guys out of here on a positive note, what is your favorite thing about being a part of the restaurant industry?
Making people happy.
Yeah.
That I'm working with my brother.
Oh, that's sweet. But kind of playing off your answer a little bit, like I think that's an advantage that I think you guys have both at the inner rail and on the food truck. Like you're not back in a kitchen always, at least sometimes you are, but not like separated from diners. So you can see people eating and enjoying your food. And I think you mentioned, earlier, just like seeing the look on someone's face. Like I imagine that's kind of what it takes when you have a 24-hour shift or you're working 85-hour weeks or whatever it is to see people happy. That's got to be what drives you on, right?
Yeah. And that's what make me right now, seeing people happy, seeing them enjoying our food. So that's give me more power to do better.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I want to use this time right now, listeners. I mean, this is next level Mediterranean food. Like they said, like if you think you've had chicken shawarma, you haven't had this level yet. You haven't had this gyro. You haven't had this falafel. You've got to get to Zaytuna, whether you want to go downtown to the food truck and experience OG, whether you want to go to the inner rail and be able to sit down and have it. You're going to have an excellent meal either way. I just cannot imagine coming to you guys' establishment and having anything less. So thank you so much, guys, for all the hard work that you put in, honestly. And thank you for taking the time to come on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us in here. I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect it to be as this easy and smooth. And we thought we were going to get a little nervous, but it was...
No, you guys did great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad that it was a fun time. That's really all I can ask for.
It was fun. Yeah.
Good.
Pretty fun.
Well, we'll have to have you back on when you guys have like a restaurant empire in 2 or 3 years, because I can already see that's coming.
Hopefully very soon.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Omaha, as always, thanks for eating with us.